What's up guys, how's it going? Today I thought I'd answer a question which I see a lot of people asking out of mostly genuine curiosity, but sometimes just misinformed or stupid people or idiots or people that just believe I guess all the mainstream media painting China to still be mass infected, which it definitely is not. Spoiler, definitely isn't. But I thought I'd answer the question, is China back to normal? And the best way to do that is just to take you out and show you around on the actual streets. I'm currently having a coffee because I've just had my had me barnet chopped, had my hair cut. I've just got a coffee here because there's a nice icky coffee around the corner, and once we finish this we'll go outside and we'll have a look, shall we? Right, so we're outside now, and this might not be the best day for this because it's been raining, so there's not actually masses of people around. You should be able to see people in the background going past me. I'll be walking past a bunch, there's a group just walking past here if you see in the background. But yeah, the weather hasn't been the best for doing this, and also apologies if the sound is awful because I forgot any kind of external mic to plug into this. So basically we're just going with the onboard sound in the Osmo Pocket, which is normally alright if you're in like a pretty decent area and there's no external noise. So I guess we'll have to see. If it sounds too shit, I'll probably scrap this and not bother and like do it again another time when I've got the mic, when I got a mic with me. But you can see pretty much now, like China is almost, I'd say we're at 95% back to normal. Pretty much all the shops are open. People have stopped needing every shop to have the QR code, your health code, scan in. Some of them still do. Like my complex now has got the gates open on all of it. Before, throughout the lockdown, and for most of the time until now, it's been kind of a situation where you had to scan this health code to say that you weren't, you know, to prove that you weren't infected or had been in any infected areas for every time you entered or exited, and you could only go in and out of like one entrance. I guess it was to keep it all controlled. And well, these guys right, but yeah, now all the entrances are opened up again, pretty much gone back to normal. Some of the staff in the complex that I live in don't even wear the face masks all of the time. I mean, most people do. That's the one thing which I think will stay for quite a while, is the fact that people will be wearing the face masks to just out of respect. It's kind of different anyway, because Asia took to the whole wearing masks things a lot better than most places in the West, and that's just because masks here, even before the virus, were quite commonly worn anyway. Especially people would wear them if they'd ever had a cold or they were ill, but they were coming to work or going out anywhere public, they would always wear a mask. Like, so people kind of here, you always saw masks anyway. Not to the extent now. I'm thinking, I see a lot of other YouTubers saying that now a lot of people in their areas are not wearing masks anymore, but at least here in Wenzhou, there's still a lot of people that are wearing masks and just keeping it. Like I say 70-80% of people on the street are wearing them, maybe even 90%. There's a lot of people that are wearing them, and that's it's really good. I've got quite used to it. I pretty much always wear a mask now, except when I'm at home. Even if I'm just popping down in the complex to go and grab something, just out of respect, and also because of the whole people being cautious of foreigners, which is all to do with a lot of people from coming back from overseas. It's kind of mainly, I don't know if it was mainly actually foreigners, but it was people coming from back overseas that caused a lot of imported cases after towards when they'd got it under control with the lockdown. So they oh fuck, yeah, this is low. So they people, I've said this in past videos, I've not experienced any kind of bad feelings from people because I'm foreign. I think I might have seen somebody move away from me at one point, not really sure, but just gonna duck through these guys. Nice. They're just having a little meeting by the side of the road there. But yeah, I've not experienced any bad feeling really, but not to say there hasn't been. And just to make sure that people are at ease, whether it's right or wrong, them feeling kind of worried about foreigners, I think it's still easy enough just to keep wearing a mask. And if anybody did have any kind of like queries, or not queries, if anybody did have any worries about a foreigner being nearby them, we'll wait just till we go past here a minute because the music is super loud. But yeah, I think just wearing a mask will solve a lot of the problems of people being slightly wary of foreigners, because it shows them that you kind of are taking it as seriously as most of the rest of the people here. Now, like I said, shops are still open. Shops are open, business is booming. There's a lot of people offering discounts now because they want to get the business flowing again. There's some shops which have, they obviously maybe opened at the wrong time, or they didn't have the surplus funds to keep them going through the hard times. But on the whole, Asia in general, and especially China, it's a savings culture. So a lot of people save a lot of money, and then when something like this happens, they actually end up better. Because a lot of people in the West seem to have, and I know from personal experience, obviously living in the West most of my life, that people in the West will rely more on like a kind of finance. Buy a car, don't pay for it up front, and finance it. There's not as much of a savings culture as there is here in China, and whereas in China, people will save and save and save and save like crazy because they want to have this nest egg. And there's not a lot of stuff that you can actually do to get finance. They just don't offer it. I've not seen it that much. I think that if you're a Chinese mainland national, you can actually get maybe Zhima, I think, is a company that does maybe some finance, but people still wouldn't want to do that unless they actually absolutely have to. They just don't want to get anything on finance. They'd rather just pay for it up front. People will save and save and save, and then they have this nest egg which they will then use to pay for stuff like when they need it. Not just nice stuff like cars and houses and all the trinkets that you would normally associate it with. Just they like to keep this kind of backup for if something unexpected happens. Remember, here they don't have anything like the NHS. Although medical bills are generally quite low, you don't have really the same, there's no government healthcare, so there's a lot more of a savings culture, which means that they've kind of, although they would have eaten up some of those savings during this time, they now would have been okay because they would have had a cushion to catch them. So yeah, kind of got out of breath there, so I turned the camera off for just a second while I collected my thoughts. It's kind of hard. That's the one downside to these masks, is that they kind of, if you're really walking fast and putting a lot of where you need to be breathing quite hard, then it can kind of restrict your breathing, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. But at the same time, also when you're riding a bike, cycling on an e-bike outside in a kind of water area, near water area, they do stop bugs going in your mouth, so that's pretty good. But yeah, anyway, like I said, shops on the whole are generally all open now. The cinemas, I think, and things like theaters and stuff, definitely not at the moment, but they will be. Schools are open, but only the middle schools, senior schools, and universities. Things like kindergartens still are not open at the minute. They are supposed to be opening up between any like they're going to stagger it basically, and they're going to do it between the 11th, which I guess is today maybe, and the 18th. Although a lot of people, myself included, because my son will be starting kindergarten for the first time, he has to, because his age wasn't in the right time for the public kindergarten, which is where we want him to go, he won't be able to start till September, but he's kind of fallen in like a middle area, so he will go to a private kindergarten for 3 months. But us, the same as a lot of people, have decided that at the moment we won't go back in the first week. We're going to let it sit, see where it goes, kind of let other people test the water for us, and go back in June. So instead of going straight in on the first week, we'll leave it a few weeks before he actually starts kindergarten. I think it's just I don't think it's probably that necessary, but you know, it's just to be on the side of caution, be a bit safer, and let us see what happens at the kindergarten with other people, and see how it goes. There's still I've still got to be a little bit careful, because I think my school will start back, I think once the kindergartens have started back for a week or so, then we will get the go ahead to go back and be able to actually be in the office, in the school, and I guess that is the final step to being back normal. I don't know how they will implement that, because I think the government wants classes to be staggered and kind of have like a staggered start, which my school is so busy and has so many classes every day, I don't know how it's possible to start it staggered like that. My wife has this kind of theory that maybe they'll do, if it's each class has 2 times a week, they'll do 1 class offline in the classroom and 1 time still online. But as yet, our school said they will keep us informed and we will know 1 week ahead of schedule, which is, you know, it's reasonable. 7 days notice to go start back at work. I'm kind of nervous about it, to be honest. I don't want to, see, now this is the annoying thing about shops, that they have these really loud automatic speakers which just shout the same selling message over and over and over. But yeah, I'm kind of a little bit nervous maybe about going back. I've got so used to working from home, and so I kind of enjoy working from home more. I get to see my family more. I don't have to travel as far because where I work is quite far away. And yeah, who knows what it's going to be like when you'll go back to school. But I guess we will see. I guess we'll see. Also, the other thing is I'll have a lot more work to do when I go back. At the minute it's pretty easy, and that's just me kind of being lazy and kind of enjoying it. But it's also, it's easy to get into the habit of this kind of thing, simply because, like, I guess most people in the West haven't been in this situation that we are here. We're much further ahead, so we've been in it much longer. My last time actually in my school, actually teaching in a classroom, was like the 15th of January. So if we don't go back to June, that's pretty much half a year, 6 months of not actually being at the school. And that's pretty crazy to think that 6 months of the year I haven't been like actually with my colleagues. I haven't actually seen them. The only colleagues I see are just a few people that I see on a daily basis, well, not even daily basis, to actually teach classes. But I see those guys like, oh, go with the camera. I've never seen that before. Yeah, anyway, so it's going to be kind of strange. I've seen 2 of my colleagues out once when my friend's coffee shop opened the other day, but apart from that, it wasn't, I haven't actually seen anybody. I'm lucky enough that a lot of the parents of the classes I teach really like my classes, but they don't want to have classes online because they don't think it's as good. And I also kind of think that online education versus offline education is completely different, and it's kind of much more limited. I mean, there may be some of you which disagree with that, but I mean, it's very easy from a teacher's point of view, for sure, because as a teacher you pretty much get to do a lot less. Sorry, Osmo lost my face when we were just when I was crossing over the road there. But anyway, yeah, for me as a lazy person, it's actually quite good, because the classes now aren't an hour and a half long. They are just 35 minutes, and 5 minutes of that is a break in the middle. I mean, you do have to do it twice. Like, so I do half the class, like 5 or 6 students in one class, then I teach the exact same class again to 5 or 6 students, like immediately afterwards. So I guess it works out to an hour and 10 minutes, but it's the same class twice. And it's basically 2 15-minute segments. Oh, I catch my breath a minute. I'm so unfit. That's the other thing about the quarantine, is since the quarantine I've been so unfit from not going out that I'm trying to now, I don't know if I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I'm trying to go out and cycle on the wetlands, or walk where I've been making these other videos, at least for an hour a day. Today is a rainy day, so I guess this walking is my exercise for today. Go down this way. Right, so there we go, guys. Sorry, I just had to quickly delete a bunch of stuff off my SD card. I hadn't deleted anything, so it ran out of memory space. Couldn't record anymore. Anyway, I just thought I'd take you out for a quick walk and talk. Kind of a bit of a waffle. Kind of went off track a bunch of times, but it's not 100% back to normal, but it also isn't as people think it is. It definitely is getting right back on track. Anyway, guys, until next time, bye-bye.